Thank you for tuning in to the BizNation podcast. My name is Kerry Zarb, and I've been helping business owners just like you go from headache to heaven in a heartbeat for over 20 years. I'll be giving you all the top advice for getting started in your business, but I'll also be speaking with some of the best business minds to inspire you with valuable insights to help you get ahead in your business. If you've ever hit a roadblock or lost your passion, then this is the podcast for you. Hey there, listener. Just a quick message from me before we get stuck into today's show. My sincere apologies that sections of this episode are not up to my ideal standard for your listening experience. We recorded this over Zoom and across the world, and at times we had a terrible connection. I hope that we make up for it with value and other gems to keep you listening, and forgive us for these quality issues that you hear. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Kerry and this is episode 44. If you're a new listener, hey there, thanks for tuning in. And if you've been listening for a while, welcome back. We have an amazing guest today, another awesome Clubhouse buddy, Bob Galletta, who is Beyond Our Boundaries podcast host and awesome human from Pennsylvania in the US. Bob is the creator of the diary system of fundamental transformation. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Good morning, Kerry, and thank you very much for having me.
No, you're very welcome. It's awesome to connect with you. Thank you so much, and it's great to have you on the show. We're going to have some fun. We're going to unpack this space together. I'm so excited about all these wonderful things that you do. And yeah, let's just roll through it and see what awesome stuff we can bring to the audience.
I'm just a passenger in the car, so let's go.
Awesome. So, Bob, let's start at the beginning. I want you to tell me, what are the fundamental transformation? What is this space? Tell us all about it.
So the shortest possible version of this story is that 7 years ago, I didn't like who I was. I didn't even want to forget about look in the mirror. I didn't even want to know there were mirrors in my house, right? So I made a decision. I was sitting in the driveway. Nothing happened. There wasn't somebody died. The cat didn't get run over. There was no event that day. There was no catalyst, except that I just didn't want to be me anymore. Mm-hmm. So I was sitting in my driveway in the car, and I said, I need to be somebody else. And I made a decision to do that. Now, I didn't know what the hell that was going to look like. Kerry, listen, I was so lost. I mean, everything I knew, all my wonderful intellect got me to the point of being broken and feeling like, you know, my options were limited at that point. Like, I don't want to go on. I don't want to kill myself. I can't continue like this. What am I going to do? So I made a decision to be different. And in that moment, again, and I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I just was open to the idea of what's possible. And an amazing thing happened. Once I opened up to that principle, all of what's available in the universe, and whatever you subscribe to, whether it's God or Buddha, Yahweh, whatever, universe, life, source, whatever that is for you, poured into me. So I made this decision. I was open to what's possible. And I just imagined, what would it look like if I was if I had a pen and an eraser, and I could take away all the bad. I could take away all of the events that had got me to that point and kind of start over, but from my present day. And what would it look like? Let me write that story, which I now call Best Bob. What does Best Bob look like in a vacuum, right?
Yep.
So I imagined what that looked like. And then I said, well, how am I going to get there? Let me act as if, right? Let me act congruent with the decision that I made, with the vision I created. And I did some things that, you know, most of them didn't. But every morning I got up and decided again, stay congruent with your vision, be Best Bob. Is this what Best Bob would do, right? And it's funny because I didn't you don't know what you're doing sometimes when you're doing it. It's only, like Simon Sinek says, when we look back, but we don't know looking forward how to connect the dots.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Wow.
So what I did was I started living into what I now call the diary system, which is decide, imagine, act, review, and you choose. And that wasn't even my creation for that acronym, but I was giving a video interview one day, and the guy asked me how I got from such a broken place to such a successful place. And I said, and I told him the story I just told you, and he's like, okay, well, that's diary. And I was like, what? He goes, decide, imagine, act, review, just come up with a why. And I was like, well, you choose. And he goes, great, diary. And
Wow.
It wasn't even, I didn't even create the name. I just lived it.
Yeah.
And since then I've created a coaching course, and I've created pillars
Mm-hmm.
that is the foundation of a fundamental transformation, and different steps along with each of those letters in diary. And I help my students now to unlock their true potential by becoming their most authentic self, which means it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
It means, but everybody feels this at the end. When you're alone in the dark at night, head on pillow, and there's the voice in the head, the only one that you get to hear, which is you, what's that monologue sound like?
Mm-hmm.
And I want that monologue to say, I fully love who I have become. I truly love who I have become. And I fully understand my value to the world and what I offer. So whatever that is for you, right? Let me help take your hand and guide you to that place.
I love that, Bob. I think that there's just so many things in what you just said that resonate with me as a human, because I'm like you, and I love the fact that you don't have this moment. You don't have, there wasn't a tipping point. Like you said, nobody died. No key event made this change for you and yourself. But you've had this moment with yourself where you've gone, hang on a minute, what's going on? What am I doing? Where am I going? What's my purpose? Who am I?
Right.
And I've had those moments too, but and I don't even have a point in time personally that I can go, yes, on this day I sat down and I decided. It's just evolved for me so naturally and organically, and I feel really quite blessed as a human that I've experienced this, but at the same time, saying that voice in my head, it actually says to me at night, man, you did a good job today. Geez, you're awesome. Look at you, sky's the limit.
Right.
We're going for it. There's no stopping this,
Mm-hmm.
but also at the same time, there's so many discussions in my head where it's actually saying, I'm going to be me. And if people don't like that, I don't care, but I do care. I obviously care and I want people to like me, but I don't need people to like me. I am happy. I am happy with myself. This is, wow. It's just, you're singing a great song here, Bob. I just think this is such an awesome space to be in. And the fact that, again, coming back, there's not necessarily a moment in time. There's not necessarily an event. It's just somewhere inside us goes, hang on, what's going on? And I've got a saying that I like. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. If you don't like what you're getting, change what you're doing.
You need to repeat that, Kerry. You need to repeat that. You were breaking up, and I want to make sure that comes out all right.
Awesome. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. If you don't like what you're getting, change what you're doing.
That's right. That's right. Now, don't get me wrong, Kerry. In the interest of full disclosure, my life had 100 catastrophic events.
Yeah.
Any one of which would have altered someone's life for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And they were, there was a saying at my house when I was growing up, it was so crazy. And my kids, when things would go bananas, we would just say, it's just another Tuesday at my house. And the weekend's not even close, because that's when shit really gets turned up, right? and I had these principles challenged. So 2 years ago last week. We're right on the anniversary time.
Yep.
I had one of those moments. You know, my wife and I were going through some stuff, and we'd split up and got back together, and like she moved out, and we started dating, which is wildly insane to live in different houses and date your wife. But we had got this timeshare, you know, a couple of years prior, and it was about to expire. So we started dating. I was spending more time at her house than my own. And we agreed to go together. Mm-hmm. And we had a connecting flight. And while we were at the airport, you know, for the connection, she's like, hey, listen, I'm going to go smoke a cigarette, stay here, hold all my stuff. And this is not what I do, but something just said, hey, take a gander at what she's got going on. She's been on the phone the whole trip, you know? And I saw all the selfies and everything, and then she had sent them to some other guy. And we get on I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know, I've had a lot of bad experiences, but this one, it just really broke me. Mm-hmm. And we're in the next flight. I have my face pressed on the window. It's dark. There's right there. I'm a mess, right? I'm not talking to her. I don't want to tell her what happened. And I just don't know what to do with myself. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have anyone to talk to. I'm 30,000 feet. Who are you going to talk to? The stewardess? Like, who am I going to talk to, right? And so in that moment, I started writing in my phone, typing an email to my children. And I was literally saying goodbye, because either I was going to not survive what was coming, or I was never going to be free again for the rest of my life. Like, I was going bananas, you know? I wasn't going to hurt my wife, but I was probably going to hurt a bunch of other people and then myself. And while I was typing it and saying goodbye and I love you and, you know, remember, Daddy was not an animal, right? I had this epiphany that said, wait a minute, what if do you believe you'll survive this? And if you believe you'll survive this, then what if you shared that with other people? And so I made a decision, right? Using the diary system in this. Now I'm 3 or 4 years into this transformation of self. What if I use those same principles for this moment? Mm. I made a decision that I was going to survive it. And I imagined what that would look like. And I said, well, the best thing I could do is to show up for someone else. So I started to make videos every day on Facebook. Now, I didn't say my wife had an affair. I said I suffered a terrible loss, grieving, right? Like, really grief. And I documented it on Facebook and shared with people the emotions attached with what I was experiencing. And the message was, I'm suffering terribly, but I'm going to survive. Yep. So if you're suffering, let's survive together. And people reached out to me from literally around the world. And they said, you know, this one woman, it made me feel very small. She said, you know, my daughter just died, and I watched your video, and it gave me the hope that I'm going to survive. And it made me feel about this big. It made me feel like I made the right decision. Yeah. And, you know, it tested it, right? We can come up with all kinds of fancy slogans and, you know, and you can put out all this stuff that sounds nice. But when the rubber meets the road and someone asks you to challenge your principles, who are you going to be? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you know, the marriage didn't survive. We actually, after that trip, we made up, and, you know, we moved back in together, and we were going to give it a go. And after about 9 months, I just realized for the first time in the 25 years we were together that I just, for both of us, and I needed to love me first. I had to put my mask on first. Yeah. And I couldn't pour anything more into her. I didn't have anything left to pour because I had depleted my tank. Yep. For me. Mm. So my best day ever was the day that I stood up for myself and understood my value. And it's been amazing ever since.
Yeah, I think, isn't it interesting, these things that we're challenged with in life, you know, and it could be in your relationship, could be in your job, could be in your business. Like, there's so many options. You know, could be the poor Uber Eats delivery guy, you know, with the, like, it can be anyone, anytime. gets challenged with these, for their moral compass, for their true beliefs, what all these little things that are inside us. And it's funny, like I think back to my childhood, and one of the things that is just so embedded in my brain is you don't lie. Only for the reason that I don't know if you've ever done this, and I did as a teenager. We all went through those teenage years of being a bit of a shithead and, really challenging our parents and pushing those boundaries and seeing what we could get away with.
Right.
And I learnt in those teenage years, and it was shortly after that I decided I am not going to lie. It's bloody hard work to cover that shit up. Like, it is an ongoing effort to remember what you said, remember how you covered it, where you were when you were supposed to be somewhere. It's hard work. I couldn't cope. Mentally,
Yeah.
I would trip over myself.
I couldn't cope today. I can't remember yesterday's breakfast, so
exactly.
There's no way I'm remembering that.
No, exactly. But I remember that time, and I remember that episode of my life where it was literally like that turning point for that particular principle that got ingrained in me, and I just went, oh, bugger this, it's too hard. It is too hard. Just stay true. Speak the truth, and then it's so much easier. Like, it's just so much easier for me as a human to stay on track, and oh, wow.
I told my kids, I said, the time they were able to understand what they were hearing, you must always tell me the truth. I don't care if you killed somebody, you need to tell me the truth so that we can deal with it appropriately. So I know I got you. You're my son, you're my daughter. Like, you don't have to worry about me.
Yeah.
But I need you to be wholly honest with me because I was not one of those parents that said, oh, couldn't have been my kid. There was an overwhelming possibility that it was my kid. And, but I needed to know which times were actually my kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I knew that no matter what you did, if you told me, Dad, it was me, okay, well, I'm not going to let someone else abuse you for it. We'll own it or whatever, we'll get through it. Mm-hmm. But you need to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Right. I need to know, like, truth. And listen, you need to be authentically you, and you cannot be authentic if you're lying. You just can't.
You're listening to the BizNation podcast. I would love to connect with you outside of the podcast, and you can find me on Clubhouse, Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn by searching my name, Kerry Zarb, or directly on my website under, you guessed it, kerryzarb.club. And don't forget, if you need more support in your business, you can also find me on Facebook under Micro and Small Business Support Group. And same for me, Bob. I had a situation, many years of managing businesses, having my own business as staff. Staff are such a challenge in a business or in that space. And the biggest thing that, again, from my teenage years of that episode was, put your bloody hand up. If you've stuffed something up, even when I was younger in the workforce and I was the junior and I had these managers above me, I would always go to them as soon as I realised there was something wrong. Because if you don't put your hand up, no one can help you fix it.
That's right. And you know what? When you start trying on your own, then you get what I call quicksand days, right?
Yeah.
Something goes wrong. And you try to fix it, and as much as you struggle, then something else goes wrong, and then on, and before you know it, you're suffocating, you're drowning, it's just, you don't even remember where it started.
No, exactly. What was the original problem? What popped up first? You got you can't, because so much has happened, and it snowballs. It snowballs from there. One little tiny thing can turn into this mountain of a mess when you try and fix it on your own. You need to get other people to help you 100%.
That's right. And then at the end, right, when it all comes out in the wash, because 99% of them it doesn't matter how it started. All that's going to be remembered is Kerry lied.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Bad.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the takeaway. Like, it's had, no matter how wrong someone else is, but Kerry lied.
Mm-hmm. You covered that. You wanted to cover that up. You wanted to sweep it under the rug. You didn't want anyone to know about it. You tried to deal with it yourself, and you stuffed it up. And it's a bigger consequence. It really is. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I
Wow.
agree 100%.
Bob, we've gotten a little bit carried away. We're going to hop back on topic because I still want to know more about this space that you're in. You know, this coaching space and this transformational space just speaks to me, speaks volumes. Like there's heaps of value here that you're bringing. And I think genuinely from you as a human to help others. It's not, I'm not hearing a big sales pitch here. I'm not hearing this, you know, oh, I've got this business and I've got, you know, thousands of customers and I help thousands of, like you are genuinely reaching out to people to say, I've had this change in my life. I've made this change. I've taken these steps. It is, you know, tried and true and tested and all that kind of stuff. And we all know there's a business behind every person, but you're not selling. You're not selling this. You are genuinely wanting to share your story.
I really suck. Suck, Kerry. I'm so bad at that, right? So that speaks again to that whole, you know, standing out in front. Hey, everybody, look at me, right? I believe in attraction rather than promotion.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of saying, hey, look at all these people I've helped and I can give you names and lists and you can check with them. Listen, I want to help people across the board and I am not an expert in all areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I will get you. Here's to me, the most important person in the group is not the influencer. It's not the leader. It's the linchpin.
Yeah.
Because I know that I don't know everything. And I think that makes me the smartest person in the room. But I know that Kerry can help you with this problem. So you talk to Kerry because you don't know Kerry, but I do.
Yeah.
Right. So I can create this. So one of the things on this road, right, I want everybody to be wholly authentic. I want them to improve all the facets, right? Like a diamond, many facets. I want to improve everything. I want to lead people on a journey of self-discovery, self-improvement, self-development, find freedom, and success. So I also have, I'm very heavily involved in network marketing, and I bring people into that. And here's the funny thing. So I've never said this before. You can pay me thousands of dollars to have me literally hold your hand and walk you through the fundamental transformation and diary system. Or you can just join my network marketing business where I pour into you every day. You know? And a couple $100 and you make money. One of them you make money. The other one you're great. But I pour into all of the people on my team just because I don't know how to hold back. I can't just give a little. If you got me, you got all of me.
Yeah.
You know? So I tend to downplay that because like one business hurts the other. But that's just who I am. I want to see you be your best. I want to see you grow and blossom. You know, I've had such an experience, especially I'm like you, since we've been on Clubhouse. What is it? 3 weeks, a month, maybe 6 weeks for those of us who got in early, right? But unless you're a rapper in the music industry, you weren't there in May, June, July, right? No. It's the last month or so.
Yep.
So I've had such an amazing time. I have my room every morning, and there's some new people in there. Everybody's new. What are my new people in there? We're all new. But there was a young man who came in. His name is Chris. And he was having one of those quicksand days last week, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Chris, is it okay if I make a recommendation? He said, sure. Because my room it's funny because the room is packed and nobody knows what anybody else does. The hard rule is I want you to be in this room as Kerry.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. I didn't ask what you do. I want to know who you be. I am inspiration, authenticity, and joy. That's the name of the room. So that's who I am, right? I am not the network marketer. I am not the life coach. I am not the podcast host. I don't even talk about that in that room.
Yeah.
I want you to show up as a human being. See, I know that I can help people. I know that I can help people with problems they're not even aware they have because I like to drive down.
Yeah.
For me to have changed my life the way that I had to change everything.
Yep.
I had to really get honest about, well, this is something I do all the time. Why? Well, it's just what I do. No bullshit. I call bullshit.
Yep.
I am one of the most incredibly self-aware people you'll ever meet. And it's because I want to know, why did I do that? Right? That shit's stupid. Why do I keep doing it? You know?
Yeah.
Why did I stay in a marriage for 25 years that wasn't working?
Yep.
Why?
Why
do I love somebody that I need to love me a certain way that I don't think can? Why? And then it came to me a couple of years ago. at work. And it was out in California, and I was working on the side of some cargo tankers and, putting vinyl up. And I was thinking about all the people in my life and where I got this foundation or definition of love.
Mm-hmm.
And it was transactional. If I show up and I do these things for people, they're going to give me what I want. And what do I really want?
Mm-hmm.
What I really want is for you to love me and accept me unconditionally.
Yeah.
So when I do stuff that makes you happy, then you share your joy with me. It wasn't until I was, you ready for this? 48 years old that I realized that that's transactional.
Yeah.
48.
Wow. I never thought of it like that. I never thought of the transaction. Never.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm looking at all my transactions now. I'm thinking, hang on, I do this and I get this.
Right, I see it. Because right now your brain is going. Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That is so awesome. Wow.
And don't get me wrong, I loved to show up for my wife. I loved to pour into her. I loved to give her everything that she wanted. When we were struggling, like we got The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, and we realized we were speaking different languages.
Yep.
So one of the best things that we did was, instead of reading that book and I gave it to her or vice versa, we would sit in bed at night and I would read to her in the book, and we would talk about it, read a page, couple of pages, whatever, do the exercises together to have that intimacy, right? Me reading to her and then say, hey, you want to read for a little while? She would read to me to just try to create a little more intimacy, and try to understand each other better, because like I said, I was 48 years old and I realized that my concept of love from the time I was a child came from this really bad place. But thank God that it happened then.
Yeah.
At least I got it. At least I realized it now.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like I'm in a new relationship with a new woman, very upfront. Hey, this is who I am. And listen, I just want to honor you for how you've shown up, right? The fact that we're on this call right now, this is testament to who you've chosen to be.
Yeah.
You need to honor who you've chosen to be. Love that. Love you for who you've chosen to be. Because listen, if you're listening to this and you think that when Kerry decided, I'm going to make a podcast, she was not brimming with self-confidence and let me go out there. I was terrified. No one's going to listen. What do I know? I'm no expert on podcasting. And yeah, but you don't have to be.
No.
But you just need to share your zone. You need to, share what you do know and show up as your best self. And then when you're afraid, when you're scared shitless, do it anyway.
That's right. Take the step. I say to everyone, and in our podcast rooms, this is one of our strongest messages. You've just got to get started. I used to have, oh my God, there's so much anxiety and build up of stress and pressure and put all this weight on my shoulders before I would even hit the record button.
Right. Hey, listen, you'll look back at this interview. Down the road, you'll look back at this interview and be like, wow, the sound sucked. We were on a Zoom. I don't know where Bob was. Maybe it was in fucking Pluto. I don't know, right? And I would never allow that today. But today, be perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
Be who you be right now and love who you be right here. And if there's things about you that you need to improve, then find somebody who has the experience with improving that. And ask them, go like this, raise your hand and say, hi, I'm Bob. I need some help with this.
Yeah.
And then take the help.
Exactly.
Take the help. Don't question the help when it arrives. Just take it.
Absolutely. And Bob, we said before the show, we did some bit of testing, this, that, and that, like what's Zoom doing? We got some glitches. Doesn't matter.
Say thank you.
No, thank you, Bob.
Kerry, for who you've been and how you've welcomed me into your home.
Yeah.
Right? We downplay that today. Yeah. We all got sent to our room and then we all wound up in everybody else's room,
Absolutely. And Zoom. Yeah. Hey, Bob, how's this for a thought, right? I had this thought multiple times throughout COVID. Imagine if this had have happened in the 90s.
Oh, my God.
What?
My God. Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
This would be so bad. Like
Yeah.
we are so great. Like we need to be grateful and we need to be thankful for this COVID. It's not over. It's still going. It's all over the world. There's going to be different strains, all that kind of stuff. But you need to be grateful for the technology and the era that we're in and the abilities that we have, because take us back 20 years on dial up. Oh my God, what a mess.
Right.
What a mess. What a mess.
Hey, listen, I'm a little bit older than you, Kerry. I'll take us back to the 80s before we had the You know, when you wanted to know where your friends were, you got on your bicycle and you went to look for them.
Yes.
How did you know where they were? You found the pile of other bikes. You know what's funny? Here's the funny thing. And I was critical of my children for this, right? Because this was my children, right? Like the face in the phone, everybody disconnected. And I used to be critical and tell stories like the ones we just told.
Yep.
But then a funny thing happened. COVID came.
Mm.
And because COVID came, now, because everybody be like, get out of your room, get out of your house, go play. And then COVID came. And even us old people that used to say that, we got sent to our room too.
Yep.
But because of the technology that exists, now I am in your living room and you're in mine. And we are this much closer, right?
Oh.
It's not just texting your friend or because, they don't talk. It's this. It's this interaction. It's apps like Clubhouse where I get to start my day in a positive way 5 days a week with 40 of my best new friends.
Exactly. Exactly. And Bob, have you found, this is one thing that I've found since I've joined Clubhouse, I have to say, I don't want to type anymore. I don't want to make this crap. I press
everybody now will talk to text in Instagram, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's only if I can't hold that button to record that I will actually type something like on my phone or whatever, or if I'm sitting at my workstation, my studio and all these epic screens, I will actually open the apps and type really fast. But otherwise, I just want to talk. I just want to keep talking. I just got to keep going to Clubhouse and I just got to keep having those real conversations because they're the people that I want to connect with. I want people like me that are just saying it and doing it and being themselves. Before we wrap it up, where can we find you?
So you can find me, you can listen to my podcast, which is the best way to start that whole funnel process, which is Beyond Our Boundaries podcast. You can find it anywhere that you listen to your podcast. On Instagram, it's Bobby Mush 13. Facebook is, you could just put in Bobby Mush. You can always reach out to me, go bobgalletta.com/call and book a call with me. Or you can show up in my Clubhouse. I'm Bobby Mush on Clubhouse, and I have a room which is Monday to Friday, 7 to about 9 a.m. New York City time. So adjust accordingly to where you live. 7 to 9 a.m. New York City time, Monday through Friday. We have the most engaging conversations with the most amazing people. Just got to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. I
got to say thank you. I want to honor you for who you're being. I love your journey. I love that I get to be a part of your journey. And I'm so happy to see you shine like a lighthouse, right? Being a beacon of light for other people, because you never know who's going through a dark and stormy time. And it's awesome and amazing for you to thank you.
No, thank you, Bob. I appreciate everything you do. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be maybe, hopping in that room a little bit more now because I've been there. It's awesome. I can't promote it enough. I want to tell all of my friends, and I want to tell all of my friends to get on Clubhouse because that is just the space at the moment, I think. So I'm going to pop all of those links in the show notes for all the listeners, and we are just going to keep on connecting. We just have made this instant bond, which is so amazing. And so, and again, thank you, Bob, for everything that you're doing for the world. Like, I think we're both in this fantastic zone. We've got so much to give. So thanks for being on the show, Bob, and we will chat really soon. Thank you so much for being part of this episode. I am super excited that I've had this opportunity to connect with Bob. He is such the authentic, amazing human. I just cannot speak highly enough of him. Please check out all of his links in the show notes. And for those listeners that have either just tuned in or have tuned in for some time, thank you so much for being part of my journey in podcasting. I couldn't have done it without you. And I really want to thank you for, listening in and being present in this space. this and watching my journey transform. For those that don't know, we have 2 Facebook groups. Micro and Small Business Support Group is the first Facebook group, the original Facebook group that is connected to this podcast. And the second group, I'm really excited to announce that we've launched a new business called Pod Collab. This is a podcasting space, and it's all about those authentic discussions and having those connections and helping people on their journey with podcasting. Since I've joined Clubhouse, I've realized how amazing the voice can be. I've relearnt my listening skills, and being able to connect with people on Clubhouse in that genuine capacity has just been amazing. So check out the new Facebook group, Pod Collab. We've also got the Instagram account, Pod Collab, and we will be launching a website very soon if we haven't already. And if we have, it is podcollab.club. So I'd love to see you there. Join in the conversations, connect with myself, my co-host, my right-hand person, my wingman is LED, and she is fantastic as well. We've connected on Clubhouse. We've made this awesome connection of just being so in the same zone of wanting to help people in their podcast journey. And luckily for me, very similar to myself, LED has the business experience as well behind her. She's got years of experience in business management and HR skills to bring to the table as well. So a shout out to LED for joining me on this journey. So thanks so much for tuning in. It's been great. Another awesome episode on the BizNation podcast, and I can't wait to show you what's next. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to the BizNation podcast. It was lovely to share this episode with you. Remember to subscribe to catch all future episodes, and I'd also very much love it if you'd leave me a rating or a review. Until next time, remember that you can also go from headache to heaven in a heartbeat.